Hey everyone, peace. Joe Ree again. So, I've had a lot of people ask me to do a video and share my story about what happened to me on the day that my life changed forever. They say it's not really what happens to you, it's more about what you do about it. And so, I'm going to do this video in parts. I'm not going to, because it's a long story, so obviously I want to break it up. I don't want to be on here for an hour or two, but I will get into the story and give a little bit each day about it. Today, I want to start and first tell you what happened to me and then fade back and build up to that a little bit about the story. So, I'm 46 years old. My life changed in a split second on September 11th, 1984. I was playing football for my junior high school, Indian Trail Junior High in Olathe, Kansas. Up to that point in my life, I had played baseball, football, basketball, golf, tennis. I loved sports. Sports was everything to me. It meant so much, and I had dreams and goals and aspirations of being the next Frank White, the great second baseman for the Kansas City Royals. My grandfather and I would listen to the Royals on the radio in the summer nights, and we'd sit out back and we'd drink sweet tea, and for me it was just the coolest thing in the whole wide world. And his favorite baseball player was Frank White, so naturally Frank White became my favorite baseball player. So on a late fall evening in October of 1978, I'm 8 years old, I'm sitting at home, and there's a knock on my door. And so my mom's like, "Hey, Joe, go get the door." I mean, I think she knew what was happening. So as I go and open the door and raise up, and there is Frank White standing at my door in this gray wool suit, looking like $1,000,000. And he's like, "Hey, Joe, I'm Frank White." And I think my chin literally dropped to the floor. It was just the most amazing thing. And he was there to see me, at least that's what I thought. And he came in and he sat down with me, and my mom ordered pizza, and we talked about the Royals and baseball and the New York Yankees, because the Yankees always kicked the Royals' ass in the playoffs, and it was so heartbreaking for a young kid. And then as the time was about to end, I was so upset because I had to go to my Cub Scout meeting, and I didn't want to go. It was like the first time in my life that I wouldn't want to go to my Cub Scout meeting. And he's like, "You know what, Joe, I'll attend that with you. I'll go with you." And oh man, it was so cool. So when we walked into the Cub Scout meeting, to that gym, and he was with me side by side, I felt like a superstar. But here's a really important thing that I want to say. This is a really defining moment in my life. It was one of those times when you can look back and say, my life changed on this day, this night. I observed Frank White shake everybody's hand, sign every autograph that was requested of him, made every person feel like they were special and unique and important. And I knew at that moment that that's who I wanted to be like. That's what I wanted to do. Obviously, the avenue for which he was able to do that was baseball. He was a brilliant baseball player. I didn't think anything less of myself. I thought if he could do it, I could do it. But it was that night, that moment, that everything changed for me, and sports became my focus, my drive, specifically baseball. So for the next 6 years of my life, everything centered around being an athlete. I played every sport I could. I did all the work I could. And fortunately for me, it proved that I was really, really gifted athletically. I was one of those types of individuals that no matter what sport I played, I was good at it. This isn't to boast, it was just matter of fact. So baseball, growing up, by the time I was 14, I was an all-star, perennial all-star every year. I was a shortstop. I could switch hit. I had goals, man. I was driven, and I knew that I could do this because other people have done it. if I just stayed the course and did what I was supposed to do. But in Kansas growing up, you play football. I mean, that's what boys did. I played football too, and I loved football. Football was the one sport that I could go knock the hell out of somebody and not get in trouble for it. And being small or smaller than everybody else, obviously I had the Napoleon complex. I wanted to prove how tough I was. But in football, when you play, coaches will tell you, do not ever tackle with your head down. If you tackle with your head down, you risk breaking your neck. And I knew this, but I just never thought it would never happen to me. I had what I call the not me syndrome. I think all young people have the not me syndrome. We just basically think it's not going to happen to us. It's always going to be somebody else. And I was no different. I remember the play like it was yesterday. I was talking to my coach. His name was Jeff Myers. He's his first year. And I remember talking to him. I looked behind and I laughed about something. I turned around and I see the tight end catch the football. Now, I'm 5'6". I weighed 115 pounds. The tight end was 6'2", weighed 195 pounds, had 80 pounds on me. And I went up instinctively and lowered my head. I broke the cardinal rule. I lowered my head, and my head hit his thigh. As you can imagine, it went in like this and snapped my neck down, broke my neck instantaneously. I flew back and I hit the ground. And the first thing I thought was, where are my arms? I can't feel my arms. So I tried to move. I couldn't move. I couldn't get up. And so I said as loud as I could. Barely breathe. By this time, my teammates were all huddling around me, and I'm looking up at them, and they're staring down at me. Their eyes are like this, and I keep saying, I can't move. I can't feel my arms. My life was never going to be the same. I was paralyzed from the neck down. I didn't know it at the time. I was naive enough to think that I would get up at any moment, and unfortunately, it wasn't going to be like that. Okay, so that's going to be my first installment of my story. I'll share another video with you tomorrow. I hope you like this. Subscribe. I'm going to put it on Facebook as well too. Thanks, and I look forward to sharing the rest of my story with you. Please let me know what you think. If some of you don't like it, that's okay. You can share that with me too. Have a great day. Bye.